Hello and welcome to this lesson. This lesson is an introduction to Revit for those who are just beginning in Revit, and I'll focus specifically on architects and also civil or structural engineers on how they can get started in Revit. We are going to work on 3 simple projects within this lesson. We'll model the 3 projects. One is an architectural, model. The other one still structural model. The other one is RCC, so that at the end of it, you can achieve something and make sure that you are moving from, from point A to point B in terms of modeling skills in Revit. If there's anyone who would like to join me in some courses in Revit architecture, Revit structure, and robot structural analysis, please make sure that you check the links in the description. All right, so we will get started here. And what I want to do is to simply close there so that we can get started from scratch here. Now, when you just open, you double click, the Revit icon, this is what will be presented with. Depending on the version of Revit, it may be different just a bit, but most importantly, you are going to have the models here in any version of Revit, and you're going to have the recent projects right here. Right? If you don't have any recent projects or previously opened, then you'll not see anything here. Now we have the families. These are the recent families. And at the far left here, we have under the models. You can open a model, you can start a new model, and this is what you want to do. For the families, you can open a new family. You can open a family which is saved on your computer. You can also start a new family. All right, so what we want to do here is start a project. So I'll simply click on new. This is how you start your project. And since we are starting with an architectural project, before we go to structural projects or structural modeling, you just click there. And now we have the template file. Just click that arrow and check the templates that you have. All right, we have the imperial and the metric. You can choose what you want to use, but you can even browse for more templates from there. Then you can just click that arrow and go back to the template so that you can even see all the templates that are available to you. Now you just have to pick the template according to the region where you are. For me, I'll go to English there, and maybe I just want to pick a residential, template, this one here. You can pick whatever you want from there, but make sure that if it's an architectural project, pick an architectural template. For structural project, pick a structural template, and you see as we go to the structural, project. So just click on open and it will appear within there, as you can see, and make sure that create new is selected and click on OK. Here we are. Now with this template, by default, it will give you, this one as the first view, which has been set, but don't have to worry. So now in Revit, I will not start explaining the tools one by one. It's not necessary. We'll go straight to the point. So for you to get started, for example, modeling of your project, you need to go and set your levels. All right. Of course, with the templates, there are those properties like the units, the dimensions, and everything. Everything is loaded within the template. So you just go straight to modeling. So you can open any of the elevations here by going to south to start, creating your levels. And we have 2 levels by default. Right, these levels can be clicked. You can drag it like that. You can click on one level and click the dimension and change the dimension from there. Maybe I'm using millimeters here. Click on enter, as you can see from here. You can create levels on top by just selecting one, right click, create similar, and now move your cursor there. You can even watch the dimension and place it where you want. If I want it to be at 2 meters, just click the first point, drag, and click the second point, and click on escape or click on modify to get out of the command. Now you notice here that whatever we are creating here will start appearing under the project browser. We have level 0 up to level 2. If I want to make a quick change here, I can just go to the particular text there as level. You can type there, for example, I want wall plate WP. I can just click outside and just click on yes, so that it will change from there. Just click on yes. You see that the one which was level 1 has now changed to wall plate, which is WP right here. All right, so here we are. So if you again want to make some changes, you can even move this one, or you can just type the text there and maybe another 3000, click there, and it's supposed to be whatever I done. This is 300, 4 millimeters. Enter, and you see that it moves up like that. I don't need this one because my model is quite simple. So all in all, that is how you create your levels. Now before I move away from levels, you can select on the level and turn on the other side if you want, just like that. So all that can be done within here. All right. Now this dimension that we have here, again, you can even specify, you know, for example, this one is peaking from the bottom all the way up to this level. It's 6 meters. So you can even select that number if you want that one maybe to be 7 meters. You can even type 7M and enter. You see that that can still be changed from there. Okay, enough of the levels. Let's select on it and delete and just click OK and just remain with the 2 levels. And I don't want to show, you know, those heads at the end. So this is what we have. Okay, now having done the levels, we'll open our floor plan so that you can start creating the grids. I'll go to level 0 and double click there. So you see that under the project browser, this is where you can open your levels. Just double click there and this is what we have. We have these elevation markers, which, you know, gives you the views in terms of elevations. We have north, south, east, west. These are the elevation markers, as you can see from here. All right, if you want to create your grids, it's simple. Just go to structure, just click on grid, and now you can check the bubble for your grid. If you want a 6.5, you can just pick that one. And if you just want a line, pick a line from there. If you want, you know, a radius, you can pick that one, but make it simple. It's just a line. Then you can click the starting point, maybe this one. You drag it and click the second point. See, this is the first grid. If I go to the second one, I can just hover the cursor there. It will snap right there, and I can watch the dimension if I want. Maybe I want this to be at 6.9 meters. Click the first point, drag it, and the second point, and you can continue clicking just like that. Click on modify. Now, if I want to create vertical grids, I can go back there and click on grid. But from here, I can just select one and right click and create similar. And I'll click the first point, drag it, and click the second point. Click on modify to escape. Then from here, it will continue from the previous, you know, grid. But now you can change the naming. Maybe this one should be A. Click outside to change. Then select, right click and create similar, and you can have another grid wherever I want it to be, just like that. These grids can also be copied. You can do whatever you want. All right. Okay, so now again, the spacing is entirely up to you. You can select one. This is 6 meters. Maybe I'll leave it there. You can select this one and counter check. The one that you have selected, if you make a change, is the one which will move. If I pick this one, maybe I want to be 5 meters, 5M, enter, it will move like that. I'll select this one. This is 4.8. I'll leave it the way it is. And we have our grids here. Just like levels, you can select on the grids and just turn on the bubbles at the end there. It's as simple as that, and it's quite smooth. All right. Having, you know, completed our grids, now let's focus on our walls. All right, to create the walls, it's quite simple. Again, just go to architecture, then click the wall, then click on wall architectural. Then you notice here that we have a number of options here, and we also, under the properties, you can pick the family of the wall that you want to pick from here. Now, depending on the template, you're going to see different walls from here. To make it simple, I'll just pick a generic wall from here with one layer. So I can pick, I just want a generic wall with one layer. I can modify it if I want, but maybe let me pick this wall right here. Okay, so I'm going to pick that wall. All right. I'm looking at the best wall that I can pick. Maybe let me pick this one. Now, once you pick the wall, you notice here that we are in the wall command, and you need to make sure that you pay attention to the properties here and right here, as you can see. So before you click it here, you need to know what you are placing here in terms of the walls. If I just click on height, it means that we have the height there. It means that when you click, you place the wall there, it will go up from this level. This is level 0 because you've selected high, and it will go all the way up to the wall plate. Right, so these are the two options. Right, so if I want to place the wall, I can just click the first point, then you drag it and simply click the second point, drag it, and make sure that you just close up like that, as simple as that. All right, and click right there. So you see that our wall is right there. If I want another wall here, the settings are intact, its height up to the wall plate, and here make sure that you just pick line because you just want to drag it like that. I can click the first point, drag it, and click the second point, and click on modify to escape, and our walls are right there. Okay, so creation of the wall is as simple as that. Now let's counter check what you have created in 3D view. If I just click the little house there, or under 3D views, just double click there, you see that I have my wall right there and it looks good. If I go to my south elevation here, you see that that is my wall. I specified the height and the wall goes all the way up to the wall plate, and that is the wall that we have. I can go back to level 0, and now let's add some more walls. I can just select one of the walls, right click and create similar, and maybe I just want to have a wall from that point, drag it up to that point, and from that point drag it up to that point. Click on modify. Now don't worry about dimensions, you can go back, select on it. You see we have these temporal dimensions which you can use to adjust. If I select this wall, it will tell me the spacing, you know, the spacing there. Maybe let me have maybe something like maybe 2700 for this one. Okay, now I don't need to move, I have to move this one, maybe 2700, enter. All right, and also this one I want to have 2700, maybe 2700, enter. All right, and what is the spacing between these two? This is 1.2. okay, this is okay, I'll leave it. All right, so again in the 3D view, it looks good. We have those walls created from our plan. Now let's proceed to the creation of our doors, and before that, maybe let's make some few modifications here. If I just select on the wall, I can right click and create another wall. If I just want to maybe to have about 1.3 there as a porch, I can just, I'm now modifying according to my design. Now I have the tools, I'm in the wall command, I have the tools to trim what I want. TR on your keyboard, you can just go to trim right there. All right, then I can just click that one and that one. I just want to trim the corners so that my design can be like this. All right, right click, cancel, right click and cancel. The other thing that I can do, I haven't selected anything, I can still split here because I don't want this wall here. I can split there, and I can go to the tools right here. We have the split with gap or just the split. I can use, and let me use split with gap, click there, and I can split it right there and click on modify as a way of escaping. Then I can trim the corners there, but let me trim once again by just clicking on TR. I'll trim this one and that one. Okay, it seems to be locked. I'm going to fix this. Let me select this one, and you can see that I think it's locked here. Remove constraints. Let me just drag it there. I'm just dragging. So these walls in Revit are not static. You can drag it like that, right? Okay, this time if I click on trim there, I can now select this one and that one and you to trim. All right, okay, so this is what we have. Let me make sure that I'm on shaded so that I can see my walls like that. It looks good. Now let's proceed. We add some doors here and also some windows quickly. To do that, you just need to go to architecture and see that you have the door right there. Just click on the door, and when you click on the door under the properties, you are going to see the doors that have been loaded in this template. Just click there. If you want to load more doors, you can come here under the load family, because maybe you are seeing a few doors here. Don't ask me that where do I get other doors. You can click on load family, then it will take you to the to the library. You can click the arrow there and change to the library of your choice. I can still maintain the US library. Then within the library here, you can go to the doors, which we have right here, maybe doors there. This also is the same for windows and other things. You need to come here. So I'll not come back here. If I just go back here, you see that if you want the windows, you need to come still here and find your windows. If you want the doors, you just find the doors, and you see that the doors are right here. If you want the furniture, just find the furniture, is right here. So everything is within here. So I want to focus on doors right there. Double click actually, and you see that we have all these doors. I can change how I want to view my doors to thumbnails so that I can pick the correct door. I can go to any folder and pick whatever I want from here. So maybe this is the one that I want, and I just want to have this door. Once you select on the door that you want, just click on open, and now you can pick the size from here. These sizes can be adjusted later on. Let me just pick that size and click on okay. Now I can move my cursor there. If I want my door to be right here, you can see that these doors can be placed anywhere. So I'll just have my door right here, and I can use the same door if I want, or just pick another one from here. Maybe for the interior doors, I want this one. I'll just have it here. You see that I can move it like that, and space bar to flip it. Just click there, and these are the doors that I want. Click on modify. Now maybe I want a quick wall here. I'll select one, right click and create similar, and I just pick it from that point and that point and click on modify. So we have another wall here. You can check the dimensions in the interior there. I think it's okay. Then I can select on this door, right click, so that I can create similar and have this door. Just move it like that and click. All right, so this is what we have. We have our doors. Now if you can move these doors by just selecting on it, and now just typing there, if I want maybe this one to be 3 meters, you can move in. You can move the doors where I want them to be. Now if I select on the door, you see that these are the properties, the level where the door is, the swing, the frame, and everything. If I click on edit, you see that that is the width, the height, and everything, and the dimensions can be changed from here. Maybe the opening or the height, I want it to be 2 meters. I can do it from there. I'll just click on apply since I'm happy with the defaults that I have. Let me go to the 3D view and just orbit like this. You see that I have that little house with my doors and everything, as you can see. The next thing that I want to look at are the windows. The windows are also just like the way we place our doors here. This is how you place your windows here. So you just need to go to architecture, just click on window, and again we have these windows within here. You can load from there. I already explained, so I don't have to do the same thing again. So I'll simply pick, maybe I want that window there. If I want to change the properties, I can click on edit and change the width and change, the height from here, change everything. But make sure that before you make any changes, duplicate, give it your name from here and click on OK. So now you can proceed and make your changes from here and click on OK. So if I want to have some windows, maybe this one, I can simply have my window right there. Okay, I can also have my window right here. Another window right here. Now the dimensions, you can check the dimensions if you want, but I just want to quickly have some windows right there, some windows right here, and maybe 2 windows, one right here and the other one right here. All right, click on modify, and these are the windows. I can check the properties and just make any modifications that I want. If I just go to my 3D view, hold the shift and the wheel on my mouse, you see that I have my windows right there. Now I think this door doesn't look right. Let me just counter check its properties. I use an imperial. I think the units are imperial. Oh, this is wide. Oh, okay, this is about 2 meters. I'm a metric guy, as I've said, so let me maybe switch it with the windows, the size that I'm familiar with in terms of the metric. Let me change it to this one. If I want, I can do that. Okay, so these are the windows and the doors that I have. Let's proceed and see how we can add, a roof to this building. To add the roof, again, it's quite simple. You just need to go to architecture. You just need to click on roof. Now we have so many methods of creation of a roof. We are just going to use roof by footprint. Just click there and make sure that it's on wall plate. Click on yes. You see that the screen will be grayed out. This is what I want. Now you just need to sketch the boundaries of your roof with the overhang specified. You see that you can define the overhang from here, so that as you pick the boundaries for your walls, that overhang, it's going to offset it at that overhang. Now, just like the walls, you can pick the roof that you want to use here. All right, so we have again several different types of roofs, and depending on the template that you've selected, you're going to have different ones here. So I'm just going to pick which roof can I pick? Let me just pick this generic roof with that color. I can change the color if I want. I'll select on it. That's a generic roof. And now once you do that, you just need to come to the options here. You need to pick the boundary, but I just want to specify the overhang in advance, maybe 300 as my overhang, so that if I go back here, boundary, the overhang is specified, I can use pick lines. What this means is that if I just pick this one, you know, it offsets the line at that. Now, the other thing is that it's, you know, the angle or slope of the roof by default is at 30 degrees. We can change that one later. So I'm just picking the edges and it offsets it at, you know, that overhang that I've specified here. Now, once you do that, make sure that you trim the corners to make sure that it's completely, you know, joined. So just click on right there on trim or extend. Then I can pick this one and that one. Whatever I done, trim, extend, single element, select this one and that one is joined. This one and that one. This one and let me pick it and that one. This one also and that one. I think it's joined. Now, if you counter check, you know, the slopes here, you see that this is 30 degrees. Let's click on finish so that we complete this command by just clicking finish. All right, so my roof is right there. I can go to my 3D view, click outside, hold the shift and the wheel on my mouse, and you see that that is my roof. I don't need to change the angle. If I want to change, I can still proceed. Now, I don't like the color. This is just the material on the roof, which I have to change. I'll select on it. And now click on edit type. Remember, I said whatever you select, the properties will be here and you can change it. I can also change the slope, but I'll just go to edit type. And now go to structure under the construction, click on edit. Then under the structure still, we have material by category. You can just click that, you know, small, you know, box at the end there, so that we can go to the materials and change the color from here. So what I want to pick from here is I can decide to maybe to type roof here. We see if we have some roofs here. Maybe I like this color, maybe the copper. You can choose what you want. I'll select on it. All right, then under the graphics here, this is what you're going to see in your 3D view. So I'll just click there, and which color do I want to display there? Maybe I just want to show a gray. I think that's okay for me. Just drag it like that. This is how I want my roof to be. All right, then click on OK. So under graphics, that is the color for our roof. Under appearance, from there it can update, and under appearance, that is the material you're going to see when you render. So when you render your model, this is the color that you see, but we are more interested in graphics. So I'll click on apply, OK, and OK, apply, OK, click outside, and that is our roof. Let's proceed now and just create our floor there. You can see that this little house doesn't have a floor. So I'll go back to level 1 and create my floor here. To create a floor, it's very, very simple in Revit. Just go to architecture, then go to floor. Right here under the build, we have the floor there. Then click on architectural floor. Then you see that it's similar to how you create a roof. You can pick the floor from there. All right, I'm just going to pick this floor. Just select on it. I'll pick this one. So you can pick it from there. Now you can see that you can do an offset if you want. You need to come here now. This is the boundary. then these are the tools which will help you to sketch, you know, your floor from here. So I'll use a pick line, or I'll use a line, or maybe I can use a pick line. All these tools can be used depending on the shape of your floor, so you don't have to, you know, to get worried why am I not picking these other options, because only this option and that option are applicable in this case. So I can use pick line so that I can pick the edges, just pick like that, and I'm just sketching the boundaries for my, you know, for my floor. I'll pick that one, I'll pick this one, and TR to trim, TR as a shortcut. You see it already picks that one. Then I can pick this one and that one, it trims. I think the other corners are already trimmed, as you can see from here. So that is my floor. Then just click the green check mark there, click outside, you see that you have the floor right here. Then go to your 3D view and you see that you have the floor right there. Let's proceed and now create maybe one column here and some railings here. What you can do, just go to level 0 right here, and we are going to start with a column here. I can go to architecture, then go to column, and we are going to pick architectural column. Then just within the properties, just check whatever you have here. You can also load. Remember what we did, you are able to load, but I'll just pick whatever is here, maybe a 450 by 450 millimeter column. Just click on it. When you click on it, make sure that how do you want to place your column here. Is it by height? If it's by height, then we are at level 0. It go all the way up to which level? Up to the wall plate. Click there and select the wall plate. So the settings are now okay here. Then I can just come here and now just place my column the way I want it to be. Maybe roughly I'll place it somewhere here, and click on modify to escape. Go to my 3D view and you see that I have my column right there. It's quite big, but you can still modify it. I'll just click there, maybe select on it, click there, and maybe if I want to, maybe the size is too much, right? I can click on first click outside, select on it, click on edit type, maybe make sure that you duplicate so that the original one can be maintained. Then the depth, I just need to change these to whatever I done. I've minimized it. Make sure that you expand it. All right, so this can be expanded. So maybe I just want to have 200, maybe by 200. It's up to you. Click on apply. Okay. So you can see that the column is there. I can now align it here and this side by typing AL as a shortcut. You see that now it picks that two automatically. So I can align it right there. Click outside, then pick the face where I want it to be aligned and pick that face. Then click outside and you see that we have it right here. For the railing, it's quite simple. I just want to have some railings here. I can just go to level 0, right? Then I'll go to architecture and see that we have the railing too. So you can sketch the path, click on sketch path. And now I'll click the line there and I can have my railing. You just need to sketch maybe from this point, maybe up to that point, right? Escape once and click on finish. Now the railing here, it can be flipped if you want it to be inside. Let me select on it. Right, and now the railing that is being selected can be seen under the properties here. These, you know, are default railings. You can pick what we want. I'll pick this one here and check within my 3D view. I click outside, you see that that is the railing that you want. Now you can also create your own railings and be able to achieve what we want. I think I just need, you know, that railing there. Here I'll leave it open. So as you can see, the model is almost complete. And let me just create maybe the fascia here and also maybe the gutter. So what I can do, I'll simply, you know, go to architecture and I'll go to roof. And from here, we have, you know, the fascia there, the roof fascia, and I'll select on it. So this one is simple. You just need to make sure that the fascia standard, what is loaded here, is the standard one, and I can simply, you know, pick the edges like that to make sure that we add our fascia, as you can see. And you can orbit like that. Just click there and orbit and click it just like that, and we have it like that. To add the gutter, you can just go there, go to the roof, and let me pick the gutter, and now go to the properties. We have the standard one, and now I can just pick it like that. You see that we have the gutter there. It's picking this one as the standard one. It's a family which you can counter check and change. We have that gutter. Orbit like that. Just click there, orbit, just click there, and it's complete. We have a complete, you know, model with the gutter and also with the roof, as you can see from here. So this is how you can work with Revit, quickly create everything. And as you can see, we have our floor plan and also the 3D model. And in part 2, we'll look at how we can detail this and place it on our sheets. All right, let's go to part 2 of our lesson, where we want to create a steel structure model, which is a very quick one and straight to the point, so that you see how we can use the tools, the steel structure tools here, to create our model. Now, if you want to do, before you do that, make sure that you click on File, click on Save As, click on Project. Then you just need to know where you want to save it. I'll just go to my folder here, right there, and I'll call it, maybe the naming is entirely up to you. All right, so I'll just call it Architect Model and click on Save. Right, so now we'll start with the structural model, and what I'll do, I'll simply close, just close there. We'll do the detailing in part 2, and you see that, as I said, whatever you create will appear there as a recent project, so you can see it's right there. Now let's open a new project by just clicking on New, and now click on Browse. Just click that arrow there and click on Templates. Go to English. Right now, from English here, I can choose maybe structural analysis default template. This is a structural template. This because I want to deal with a structural project. Then click on Open, and now you can see that it's right there, and I'll click on OK. Now, since I've already talked so much about the levels and grids, I'll do this one very, very quickly. So again, I can go to South. Right, I have these levels, you know, they look different, but I just need to counter check maybe the spacing. What is the spacing here? Maybe 3 meters is okay. Just want to have another level on top. I'll select one, right click, create similar, and I'll move it up, maybe up to maybe 3 meters. Also click the first point, drag it up to somewhere there. I just need the 2 levels. Then I'll open level 1 right here. I'll just go to level 1, right, and I'll create, you know, some few grids here. By I can use architecture or structure, but maybe let me go to structure since the structural project. Click on grid, and I'll just have the first point, the second point, I'll have this one and that one, maybe the last one, but not the least, maybe from this point up to that point. Now I'll continue with the vertical ones. Click the first point, second point, I'll have it there, first point, second point, and this one from this point up to the second point. Click on Modify to escape. I can select on this and drag it to make sure that it's what it is, the way I want it to be. So I'll select on this one, maybe 11 meters is too much. I just want to have 9m in terms of 9 meters, enter. So it looks okay. So now I'm done with the grids and the levels. Now to create a steel structure, it's very, very simple. What I can do is to simply go to structure and I'll click on column. Right now, if I just click, you know that now most of them are steel columns. So I can pick, you know, the steel. So you see that you have the universal beams here, rectangular column. This is concrete. This is circular hollow sections, but maybe I want to pick a different one because I want a steel column. A column beams, I can even pick this, but you can still load it from here. We talked about this. Now to remember the previous settings, I can click there and go to libraries, and now I can go to English, and maybe I can go to UK. With this, I can go, if I want columns, I can go to structural columns, I think, and right here. And if I want under steel, I can go there. So let me pick some columns here. You can go to British, depending on what you want to achieve. And let me pick on universal beam columns. Maybe this one, I've already loaded this, they're already there. But I just want to show that all these can be loaded from here. And from here now you can pick the size that you want and click on open. You can even pick a number of them. So you see that I can now click there and pick the one that I want, but I think this one is okay. And now if I zoom in here, I have, having selected the column there, I have all these options. This is a vertical column or slanted. You can do add grid, so you can decide to place these columns one by one. For example, if I want to use this one, but make sure that again you counter check here. We are at level 1. We want our columns, it has to be height, and we want our columns to go all the way up to level 3. Right, so we need to counter check here, don't forget. Now you can place these columns. This is a vertical column. You can place these columns one by one by just clicking, or you can pick at grids and now select all these grids at once, just like that. Release the mouse, you see that there's a preview showing all those columns. All you need to do is click on finish. All right, click on modify to escape. Now come down under here. You notice that if I zoom in here, okay, it looks good, but I can change this one to shaded so that I can see my columns properly. I think it's already shaded. Now if I just click there, you notice that I'm under course. I'll see those as lines, so make sure that there is fine level of detail to see the columns like that. So let's see this within our 3D view by clicking the little house there. You see that we have our columns there. Just click there and change to shaded so that you can see it properly, and those are our columns. If I go to south, see that the columns are right there. Let's proceed and now see how you can model your beams. So we can have our beams right here at this level, maybe even at that level. So I need to go to level 2 because I want to start my beams at level 2. So just double click level 2 here, and here we are. So we are seeing these as single lines, so I can change this one to fine level of detail. So the columns are also simple. Just go to structure, I mean the beams. So now pick the beam right here. When you click on the beam, go to the properties, and you notice that now what is loaded by default within the template can be picked. You can load any size that you want from the database, but I'll just pick this beam right here. I'll click on it. Now from here, again, you need to counter check here, but for the beams, if you are on that particular level, as you click, you'll see that it will pick that level automatically. But you can start creating your beams here, but the beams are physically being placed at level 3 if you pick level 3 or different level. So level 2 is fine. I'll leave the other options. Now you can place them on grids if you want, because it will place them between column to column. So I'll start with maybe by picking line, and I can zoom in here and have my beams just like that by picking that point and that point one by one to join them. If you don't want to do that, I'll right click cancel to escape. If you don't want to do that, let me go back to beam. You can just pick on grids and now select all these beams like that. Release your mouse, and that is the preview. All the beams will be placed there. As you can see that we have the beams. Then you can click on finish and modify to escape. So you can see that the beams have been placed and they are not, interfering with the columns. It stops there, then the other one starts from there. So it's very fast. Now let me also show you another quick tool of creating infill beams, like for example the secondary beams. Just need to go to structure, and we have the beam system right here. So if I click on the beam system, still the options are the same here. You can pick the beam that you want from here. Now we have several options here. We have the automatic or sketch beam system. because these infill beams, you see that if I hover on the horizontal one, it will place those beams horizontally. If I hover on the vertical ones, it will place those beams vertically. So you can place those beams quickly. Now there are also these options, the layout rule. If you want the maximum distance, that is the spacing between those. If you want a fixed number, if you want maximum spacing, you can change the options from there and change the spacing from there. But I want a fixed distance, so I will leave it at that. So make sure that you play with these settings here, and I just want automatic. And the beam type that I want, make sure that you pick it from here for the beam system. I will leave the one which is selected there. So we are using the layout rule fixed distance, which is still the same one, which is right here. So I just need to hover the cursor there, see that I can place my beams. I can hover my cursor there on this one, I can place my beams, and it's as simple as that. Perfect. I'll click on modify, go to my 3D view, and see that we have the beams just like that. Now I can proceed to copying these beams to the top there. Instead of creating beams, I can copy them there. So I'll just go to level 1, or actually to level 2 where my beams are. And what I'll do, I'll just select everything like that. You can select everything. This is the selection tool in Revit. To select everything, then you can filter. Instead of picking one by one, you waste time, but you can select, click on filter, check none, and now just check what you want to select. Maybe I just want structural beam system. I want structural framing, and leave out the columns and the grids. So apply OK. So in this way, I've selected just the beams. Now, how do I copy? All you need to do is to come here under the clipboard, click copy to clipboard. This one will be active, as you can see. Then click that small arrow, then aligned to selected levels. Then pick level 3 because you want to copy these beams to level 3, and click on OK. Go to your 3D view, you see that all your beams are right there. I'm just holding the shift and the wheel on my mouse. Let's see how we can create our bracings within Revit for this simple structure. So what I'll do, I'll open one of these views. First, I'll go to level 1. Then to create your bracing, you need first of all to go to view. Then you see that you have the elevation right here. Click that arrow. Then click framing elevation. Click on it. Then hover your cursor there. You see that to add that elevation marker, just click on it. You can click on modify to escape. Zoom in using your wheel on your mouse. Then double click that head to open it. Alright, then select that box and you can just expand to see this frame. And you can even expand it. Let me go to level 1 and see the one. So I'm dealing with this frame. So this is the one which is right here. Now to create the bracings, you just need to go to structure and click on the brace. Right, now you need to pick the member for your bracing. Right, maybe let me use a circular hollow section as an example. You can go to your library or database and pick the bracings that you want, the size. So in the type, so I'll just pick that one. And now I just want to have a bracing maybe from this point up to that point. And now from maybe this point up to that point. Okay, I can copy these or I can simply continue from this point. Okay, up to that point. So once you create your elevation like this, it will be easy for you to create your bracings and you shouldn't encounter any issues. I'll click on modify to escape and my bracing is there. If I go to my 3D view, you see that I have my bracings right there. Now let me maybe just copy this, or let me just copy. I'll go to this other, actually the same elevation. Let me select one, right click and create similar. And let me add some more bracings here. Maybe I want to have these bracings even here. It's entirely up to you on what you want to achieve or how your design is. All right, so I'll just add there. Click this one and add it up to somewhere there and click on modify. Right, now I can copy these bracings. I'll select one, hold Control if I want to copy it on the other side, okay, I can simply select like that and go to maybe level 1. You see we have these bracings here. If I want to copy these bracings on the other side, they're already selected. I can simply click on copy, and I want to copy it from here. Now with copy, make sure that you constrain it. If you want multiple bracings, you can, but you constrain so that it doesn't move sideways. So if I just click that point and click just that line there, my bracings will be there. Just click on modify, and you see that I have my bracings right there. Now let's proceed and add some, maybe the pad foundations. If you want to add the pad foundations right here, it's very simple. I'll just go to level 1. All right, now what I'll do, I'll just maybe, select the columns. I'll select one column, right click, and you can select all instances visible in view, meaning that all the columns are selected just by doing that. Now, if I go to my 3D view, notice that the columns are selected. I just want to offset these columns, just a bit down there by going there. The base offset, maybe I want a base offset of maybe 200 or 500. It has to be negative because we want the columns to go down. So just move my cursor there. I see that the columns are offset a bit. Click outside. Now let me add the bases there. So I can go to structure, right? I want to add the isolated foundation. Click on the isolated foundation, and you see that in the template we have this one. You can click on edit type. Make sure that you duplicate and give it a name and change the foundation thickness, the width, and the length. I don't want to change anything. I can simply, add the same bases there, but make sure that you are at level 1 right here. But remember, we did an offset of, negative 500. So height offset, make sure that you put the same one right here. These are the properties for the base. So we don't want this base to sit right here at level 1, but with an offset of maybe negative 500. All right, now with what we have, we can start placing these bases one by one, just like that. All right, we go to the next one, zoom in, space bar to flip it. You're able to flip it by space bar. Another one right there. Make sure that it highlights in the center. If you want to add all of them at once, make sure that you click on add grids, then select everything from left to right. Select everything, release your mouse. This is a preview. Then click on finish. You have those bases. Let me go within the 3D view. You see that we have those bases. Click outside and you see that this is how you can quickly model your steel frame with everything that we are seeing here. Let me change this to shaded. Click that arrow. I'm just changing the graphics here. I can go to shaded, smooth lines. I can go to shadows and add what I want to add. Just click on apply. Maybe the lighting, I can do what I want to, just change the visibility settings here, but I think this is not so important. Now let's proceed and create a concrete building. Now a concrete building is similar to a steel building, but I'll just do a very quick one. And before I do that, I'll simply click on file. I'll go to save as a project. And it's right here. I need to go to English, to documents, and find my folder where I need to save it. I'll just call it steel frame, maybe steel frame, maybe 2, and now I just click on save. Right, so now to create a concrete building, it's similar to what we have here. There could be differences here and there, but I'll still demonstrate on actually a smaller one. So I'll just close all these again, just like that. Close all these. And you can see that again, we have another recent project. And we just click on new, click on browse. Just click that arrow there and click on templates there, and I'll go to English, and I just want to pick the same template because it doesn't matter, this is still a structural template. Then click on open and click on OK. All right, so again, you have to understand your project. For example, if we have those levels, maybe you need another level on top, you can go to structure, just go to level. Let me add one level here from there up to there. Click on modify. Let me go to level 1. Now you can also add the level below there if you want. So I can just go to structure, go to level, and if I add a level below, maybe at 1.2, just click the first point and the second point. You see that it will be at negative 1.2. So Revit understands that that is below, level 0. Then I can counter check these dimensions. These are 3 meters, so that's fine. Then I'll go to level 1 just by clicking there, level 1. Quickly add some grids here. So I'll just go to structure, just click on a grid. I'll just add a very, very simple frame. The first point, the second point. This will be at 5 meters, maybe even at 4 meters, the first point, second point, and the other one, the last but not the least, at another 4 meters, the first point, the second point. For this one, I'll click the first point, the second point, modify, select on it, and click there. I want this one to be A. Make sure that it's, cap is on, then click outside. Then I'll right click and create similar, and I just want to have maybe this one at 3.5. Click that point, then this one at 3.7, and I'm good with my layout, and click on modify. Right, I can select on the grids and just make sure that it looks clean. So now again, the columns, same with the steel structure, just go to structure, click on column. Right now, when you click there, you don't even need to go to the library. As long as you have a concrete column within here, just pick what you have. I'll just pick a 300 by 450, just click on it. Counter check here, height is fine, and we want this to go to level 2. All right. So these are the settings. I've picked the size of my concrete, section. All these are properties in terms of the rebar, but I'll just go to edit type and just counter check. If you want to duplicate, you can duplicate there, click OK, and you can change maybe this one by 400. All right, so that you can rename it to 300 by 400 from there, so that it's easy for you to identify it, and you need to make sure that the dimensions are matching. Apply, okay. So now again, I already explained this. You can just place one by one. For example, I want it to be right there, or I can use at grids and select everything from there up to there, then click on finish. I can counter check within my 3D view to see what I've created. As you can see, we have those columns. Click on modify. Now I want to change the visual style. I can click that arrow and go to shaded. You see that it's now shaded like that. This is good. You can go back to level, maybe level 1. This is what we have. Then I can go back to level 2. Go to level 2 actually, and now have your beams here. It's simple. Just go to structure, click on beam. Then you need to pick the concrete beam, any concrete, section here. I can just pick this one, and I'll click on edit to change the section. That one was, maybe I can have this one as 300, maybe by 400 also, but make sure that you duplicate it. Okay, 300 by 400. Just okay. So 300. The height is 400. That is the depth. Then click on apply. Okay, you see that it will appear there. And now what you want is to simply just join them. Make sure that you are at level 2, because that's where you want your beams to be. You can simply click like that by clicking point by point. If you don't want to do that, you can just say on grid and now select all these like that. As you can see, click on finish. Then go to your 3D view. You see that you have those beams as simple as that. Now, if I want, I can copy the entire frame all the way up to the top. Selection, I can even do it within 3D view. It doesn't matter. But if you select like that, I can choose to select one by one, hold control and just pick one by one. But I don't want to waste that time. All you need to do is select everything like that. Go to filter, check none, then structural columns, and also structural framing. These are the beams. Then apply. Okay, it's selected. Now you need to come here under the clipboard and click on copy to clipboard. Then click that arrow, then aligned to selected levels, and you want this to go all the way up to, I think it should be level 3, if I'm not mistaken. And then click on OK. Let's see what we get. All right, hold the shift and the wheel on your mouse. All right, so it's copied, but remember there was that offset, so I'll just select like that. We have that, a little bit of an offset, so I'll select this. Let me check. Base offset is level 2. I don't want any base offset. Base level is level 2, which is this one, and you should need to go to top level, which is level 3. So remove that offset. Move your cursor inside to apply your changes, or you can still click on apply right there. Click outside, and that is our structure, as you can see from here. Now if there's a part that you maybe want to make a few modifications, maybe I don't want this one, I can simply remove it. Maybe this is how our structure is, and this is what we get. Right, now let's also add here some, some footings here, which we did in the previous lesson. I can just go to level 1. Let me first of all go to south. We have level 1. Let me add these columns here, and also now add the at level 4. So I'll go to level 1. Right, I'll still create the same columns. I'll select one, right click and create similar, but this time I'll change to depth because it has to go down, and now that is the same size. I'll just do add grids, but make sure that it goes down. So I'll select all these like that, then click on finish. I know the columns are there. Let me go to 3D view. You can see that we have our columns. Let me escape, and these are the columns right there. The bases, it's simple. I just need to go to that level. If I go south, at south, this is level 4, but I can even change this one to maybe T or F. If you want, you can change this from here. Click outside and click on yes. Now let's create our bases right here. So if I change from there, it also changes from here. All right, double click. So now those bases, again, it's very, very simple. Go to structure. I can just pick the isolated footing. I will not change the properties here, and I'll just pick at grids and just select all these like that. Then click on finish. Click on modify. If you want to change the orientation, just space bar will do for you. You can do whatever you want just by space bar to change the orientation if you want. Right, so if I go to my 3D view, you see that this is what I get. So thank you very much for watching. These are the 3 simple projects. With these, if you can complete the 3, then you should be good. You should be able to get started in Revit and start modeling any kind of a structure. See you in part 2, where we are going to, to do the annotation and detailing and place the views on our sheets for our 3 simple projects.